So we will start with this topic shortly, but before that, the agenda for today's session is we'll understand first what is difference between sales and demand. We'll talk about multiple factors which impact demand. We call it as determinants of demand, where we will see which are different factors by which the demand in the market is changing. Let's start with our basic question. So first is, what is difference between sales and demand? So usually people get confused in these two words. So most of the time people think that these two words are same. These two words have a similar meaning, but as far as this concept is concerned, so consider that demand is nothing but it is an estimate. It is estimate about future. However, sales is not an estimate, it is something that is already happened. That means it is a past. So demand is for future and sales is for the past. So to understand this difference very well, let's see this table. So this table talks about demand and sales of a product called as laptop. Now this is talking about year 2020 demand and sales. So for an example, in the month of January 2020, the demand, that means the estimate of the laptop was 100 quantity. However, sales happened for this month was only 90 quantity. So demand is an estimate, sales is something which is actual. Now let's talk about multiple factors that actually impact on the demand. So this is called as determinants of demand. So as far as determinants are concerned, there are 6 major factors which have major impact on the demand of a product. So first factor is price of a product, second is income of the buyer, third is price of related commodity, then fourth is consumers taste and preferences, and fifth is expectations from the buyers, and sixth is number of buyers. So we will talk about how these factors have major impact on the demand, and we will also talk about certain examples around it. So the first factor that we had seen is price. So price, we all know that, and also the law of demand is stating that when the price of a product increases, the quantity of demand falls. That also means when the price of product drops, the demand will grow up. So that is what this law talks about. So for an example, let's say if the price of the bike will go down, then people will try to buy more and more bikes. Or consider a situation when there are discounts or promotions of a product in the festival season, people try to buy more and more in that period. But certainly when prices go up, then people try to avoid buying those products. So what it talks about is people are making their purchasing decisions based on the price of a product as a primary focus, as a primary aspect. Then second factor that we have to see is income. So when we talk about income, so it talks about when income rises, it will also have an impact on quantity demanded. So it says that when income increases, the quantity of product bought by people will also increase. However, when income falls, then quantity of the product that people are buying will also fall. But there are certain products for which even your income doubles or triples, you will not buy those products in double or triple amount. For an example, if you're buying a milk, or if you are consuming a milk of, let's say, 2 liter in a day, even if your income goes double or triple, you will not consume more. Or if your income doubles, you will not eat double ice creams than your previous consumption. So this concept is called as marginal utility. So it talks about no matter how wealthy you are or how much is your income, there are certain products whose demand will not be impacted with your income. The third point is price of related goods or services. So as far as word related goods are concerned, related goods are of two types. First is complementary goods, second is substitute goods. Now what is the difference between complementary and substitute goods? A complementary good is a good or product that adds value to another good when they are consumed together. So for an example, petrol is a complementary good for bikes. Or another example is washing powder is a complementary good for the washing machine. Now what is substitute? So substitute goods are those goods that those serve the same purpose as of the original good. So for an example, tea is a substitute for a coffee. Second example is petrol is a substitute of diesel. So that's a major difference between complementary and substitute goods. Now what this third factor is talking about, so this is talking about price of related goods or services have an impact on the demand of the product. So in this first topic is, so what this talks about for complementary goods is, if your product's complementary goods cost is increasing, then you will reduce your usage of that product. So for an example, if the prices of petrol will increase, then the demand for petrol vehicles will go down. So in that way, the demand for electric vehicles might increase or demand for diesel vehicles might increase. So simply when your price of complementary goods increases, then demand for your original product goes down. In second case, for the substitute, what it talks about, when the price of substitute increases, then people will want to have an alternate good as their preference. So for an example, if the prices of tea powder increases, people might go for the consumption of coffee as an alternative. So this is the third factor which impacts on a demand. Now fourth factor is expectation. Now what is expectation? Usually people have some expectations about future, and when people expect that the value of something will increase in future, then they demand more of it today. So for an example, if people thinks that the prices of house will go up in next 5 years, people try to buy house today at certain price. So based on certain expectations about future, people are making their purchasing decisions, and that is one of the important determinants of demand. Now fifth is number of buyers in the market. So the number of consumers in the market have a direct impact on the aggregate demand of a product. So more the buyers in the market, more the demand will be, and less the buyers in the market, less the demand will be. So for an example, if you are selling a product in city and if you are selling the same product in a village, so the demand for that particular product in a city will be high because the number of buyers will be more in the city and number of buyers in the village will be less. Then last determinant of demand is taste. So what this talks about? So taste is basically also referred as preference of people. So this talks about when customers' desires, emotions or preferences change about particular product that have a direct impact on products demand in the market. So for an example, consider there is a food item and there is a news about that food item, that this food item has direct impact on a people health and it deteriorates or it spoils people health. So what happens is usually people's preference towards that product goes less, or people's emotions are changed about this product and people might consume this product less. So similarly, if there are other food items like which have direct impact on adding vitamin, nutritions or health benefits to the consumer, then people usually try to have these products more and more. So that have direct impact on the demand of the products. So hopefully you have understood how the demand of product in the market gets changed with multiple factors. So there are many factors, but we have covered only 6 major factors which has direct impact on a demand of a product.